the great virtue of wisdom of Nagarjuna. Opening parenthesis. Mahaprajnaparamita Sastra. Etienne Lamotte. Composed by the Bodhisattva Nagarjuna and translated by the Tripitaka-dharmacaya Kumarajiva of the land of Kucha. Under the later scene. Translated from the French. By Galong Makama Migmi Chodron. Chapter 9. The MahāSATTVAS. The Sutra says, Mahasattva. What is a Mahasattva? Answer 1. Maha means great, and sattva means being or bravery. The person who is able to accomplish a great work without regressing or turning back in his bravery is called Mahasattva. 2. Moreover, he is called Mahasattva because he is the chief of many beings. 3. Furthermore, he is called Mahasattva because he feels great loving-kindness and great compassion for many beings. He establishes them in the greater vehicle, he travels the great path and attains a very high place. 4. Furthermore, he is called Mahasattva because he is endowed with the marks of the great man. The characteristics of the Mahasattva are described in the Samphokhi. Only the Buddha is the unique man, the foremost father and mother of the threefold world, the omniscient one. Among all beings he has no peer. Homage to the Bhagavat who is unequaled. Common people practice loving kindness in their own personal interest. They seek a reward by making gifts. The Buddha, in his great loving kindness, has no such goal. He is as beneficent towards his enemies as towards his friends. 5. Furthermore, he is called Mahasattva because he must preach the Dharma and destroy the great wrong views and the afflictions, such as great craving, pride, great attachment to the self, etc. in all others as well as in himself. 6. Finally, like the great ocean, beings are without beginning and without end. A skillful teacher of arithmetic who would keep track for numberless years would not reach the end of them. This is what the Buddha said to the Bodhisattva Wou Sin Yi. If all the universes of the 10 directions to the ends of space formed a single body of water, and innumerable and incalculable beings came, each with a hair, and took away one drop of it, there would still remain an incalculable number of beings. If by thus removing a drop on the end of a hair they succeeded in completely emptying this great body of water, the number of beings would still not be exhausted. This is why the number of beings is limitless, immense, incalculable and inconceivable. The Bodhisattva wishes to save them all, free them all from suffering and establish them all in the happiness of unconditioned safety. He is called Mahasattva because he has made this great resolution to save these numerous beings. Thus, Ngeo Ucho Na Yopoyi said to the Bodhisattva Shuta Na Sudhana in the Poko Sseu King Akantaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva MahāSATTVAS do not produce the thought of supreme perfect enlightenment to save just one man alone, nor to save just 2, 3, etc. up to 10, nor to save just 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, 1,000 million, 10,000 million, 100,000 million. And so on, each term 10 times as great as the preceding, up to the 122nd term of the series 1, 10, 100, 1000. Called anabhilapyanabhilapya and equal to 1 followed by 121 zeros. They do not produce the thought of body just to save a number of beings equal to that of the atoms contained in one country, or in 2 or 3 up to 10, or 100, 1,000, 10,000, 1 koti, 1 ayuta, 1 naota up to anabhilapyanabhilapya countries. They do not produce the thought of body just to save a number of beings equal to that of the atoms contained in Jambudvipa, or in Godaniya, Uttarakuru and Purvavideha. They do not produce the thought of body just to save the number of beings equal to that of the atoms contained in one Sahasra Kudika Lokadhatu, or in 1 Dvisahasra Madhyama Lokadhatu, or in 1 Trisahasra Mahasahasra Lokadmatu, or in 2, 3, up to 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 1 koti, 1 ayuta, 1 naota and up to anabhilapyanabhilapya Trisahasra Mahasahasra Lokadhatis. They do not produce the thought of body in order to serve and honor just one Buddha, or a number of Buddhas equal to that of the number of atoms contained in one country, or even a number of Buddhas equal to that of the atoms contained in an anabhilapyanabhilapya number of Trisahasrama MahāSATVAS Lokadatis. They do not produce the thought of body to purify just one single Buddha field or even a number of buddhaksetra equal to that of the number of atoms contained in anabhilapyanabhilapya number of Trisahasrama MahāSATVAS Lokadatis. They do not produce the thought of body to assure just one single teaching of the Buddha or even a number of tathagatadharmacakra equal to that of the atoms contained in an anabhilapyanabhilapya number of Tris. They do not produce the thought of body to prevent the cessation of one single lineage of Buddhas, or even that of a number of Buddhavamsa equal to that of the atoms contained in an anabhilapyanabhilapya number of Tris. They do not produce the thought of body to know in detail just one single vow of Buddha, or even a number of buddhapranidhana equal to that of the atoms contained in an anabhilaynabhilpya of Tris. They do not produce the thought of body to adorn one single buddhafield, or even a number of buddhaksetra equal to that of the atoms contained in an anabhilapyanabhilapya of Tris. They do not produce the thought of body to know in detail one single Buddha assembly, or even a number of buddhaparsanmandala equal to that of the atoms contained in an anabhilapyanabjilapya number of Tris. They do not produce the thought of body to remember one single preaching of the Buddha, or even a number of tathagatadharmacakra equal to that of the atoms contained in an anabhilapyanabhilapya number of Tris. They do not produce the thought of body to cognize the thoughts of one single being, or the faculties of one single being, or the succession of the cosmic periods in one single Trisahasrama MahāSATVAS Lokadhatu. They do not produce the thought of body in order to destroy the afflictions of just one single being, or even the klesses of a number of beings equal to the atoms contained in an anabhilapyanabhilapya number of Trisahasrama MahāSATVAS Lokadhatu. But here are the aspirations of the Bodhisattva Mahasatvas. The Bodhisattvas produce the thought of body and realize supreme perfect enlightenment for the following 10 purposes. 1. In order to convert the beings of the 10 directions. 2. In order to serve and honor all the Buddhas of the 10 directions. 3. In order to purify all the Buddha fields of the 10 directions. 4. In order to retain firmly all the teachings of the Buddhas of the 10 directions. 5. In order to know in detail all the Buddha fields. 6. In order to know in depth all the Buddha assemblies. 7. In order to know in detail the minds of all beings. 8. In order to cut through the afflictions of all beings. 9. In order to know in depth the faculties of all beings. These headings are the main ones. They summarize the 100,000, 10,000, 10 millions of asamkhya rules relating to the path which the Bodhisattva must know and penetrate. By means of this wisdom and knowledge the Bodhisattvas adorn all the Buddha fields. Asa also said, O son of noble family, thus would I like to have a universe where all beings are completely pure and where all the afflictions are cut through. Siddhartha asked, what is deliverance? Asa answered, it is the banner of freedom from grief and of safety. I know this single gate of deliverance, but I am unable to understand these bodhisattvas. Their great mind is like the ocean, for they are in possession of all the Buddha Dharmas. Their mind is unshakable like Mount Sumeru. They are like the king of physicians, for they are able to cure all the sicknesses of the afflictions. They are like the sun, for they are able to scatter all the shadows of ignorance. They are like the earth, for they are able to support all beings. They are like the wind, for they can strengthen all beings. They are like fire, for they can burn away the afflictions of all the heretics. They are like cloud, for they can make the rain of Dharma fall. They are like the moon, for the rays of their merits light up everything. They are like Sakradevendra, for they protect all beings. The practices of the Bodhisattvas are very profound. How could I know them all? The Bodhisattvas are called Mahasattva because they make the great vow, because they want to do the great work, and because they want to arrive at the great place. Finally, in the Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra, in the chapter entitled MAHÀSATTVAS, the Buddha himself said that such and such characteristics are the characteristics of the Mahasatvas. And the great disciples such as Choli Fu, Shupiuti, Fuliona, Purna, etc., each have spoken about this chapter, therefore it was necessary to give it fully here. End chapter 9.